Well, hello, everyone, and welcome out to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number 45. I'm AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Hey, Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
Everyone's favorite vampire, Nosferatu, and or the new BMW 4 Series. Woof.
I have not seen it. How big is the grill?
The entire middle front of the car. It looks very buck-toothed now.
Have you seen the memes? How the grill gets bigger.
Oh, yeah, so then it's nothing but grill.
Yes. Well,
this time it seems to not be widening, but instead lengthening, and it's just atrocious.
Yuck. Well,
it looks like the last of the Pontiac G6 GXPs,
yeah.
or a beaver, or the naked mole rat.
Ooh. I prefer my mole rats to be fully clothed. Steve, what are we drinking today?
So far we've got a Nosferatu from Great Lakes Brewing Co. and Uncle Nearest 1856.
The Nosferatus in honor of Halloween coming up tomorrow. This is Halloween Eve, the recording day. So the Uncle Nearest is first. It's 100 proof, maple charcoal filtered and aged in charred oak barrels. It is awesome. Cheers. Beep. That's good, isn't it?
Burns real fine.
Very nice. And I've found that with American whiskeys, bourbon, just regular sour mash or anything, it's best to, when you get it in your mouth, you almost kind of chew it. Like you move it around your mouth, and it softens the burn a little. Which is what Nosferatu is going down as. Although that kind of looks like some kid I went to high school with, actually. The way they drew Nosferatu on there kind of looks like a kkid I went to high school with.
The Bat Boy from the National Enquirer?
That's some real fucking news. Or what was it on Men in Black? What'd they say? Because it was always Joke Weekly World News, and Tommy Lee Jones said something in there. Something about it was the most reliable news source.
Yeah. Just you wait, TLJ. Just you wait.
This might be a new thing for us. You know what? Hold on one second, Steve. I don't know. Like I can hear you, but you're not as loud as normal. But you're not really a loud cat.
So loud. No, just if I'm angry.
I have seen Angry Steve. I don't like Angry Steve. I like Happy Steve.
Right now it's just Tired Steve. It's kind of the default measure.
We can remedy that. Before we get into our topics for today, I do like the beer news segment. This is interesting. So we talked, I think last time, 2 weeks ago, Utah is going to high grav. Well, they're having a problem getting rid of all the 3.2 beers because people know that
all the stronger stuff's in the way.
So they're going to have, Budweiser is bringing the Clydesdales to Utah, and they're having a funeral for 3.2% beers. A spooky Halloween-themed funeral.
Oh, did I tell you about the deal I found in Vegas?
No.
The 50-cent beers before my flight out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the Flamingo. It's like, you make them cheap enough, people won't care.
Exactly. But I thought that was, Budweiser, shit beer, pretty good marketing strategy, actually. Although Clydesdales are extremely finicky when it comes to like their diet and everything. So Andy would probably have to tell you about that because I'm not exactly the expert on horses.
It's been a while since I had dog food.
I
mean, British IKEA meatballs.
IKEA meatballs are great. I don't give a fuck what they put in them. Do you really care if it's fucking ass meat from horses or whatever? It doesn't matter to me.
It's an equestrian rump roast, thank you.
I like that. That's another great band name, the Equestrian. How's that bourbon taste coming out of your nose?
My line. Delicious.
I'm living vicariously through you.
Smells even better than it tastes.
In other news for beer, Molson Coors is laying off 500 workers due to a decline in sales. So I guess nobody really wants to ride the silver bullet train anymore with their cold filtered beer. But Coors it seems like it's always been the halfway house. Like 10 years ago, there were like Miller guys and Bud guys. But if you had Coors, they would drink Coors. And
mm-hmm.
I thought that would be a good...
I thought it was like Miller Coors, but Miller Molson Coors, there's just too many things to cover North America.
Something like that. But yeah, I thought Coors, actually, if it's really cold, it's actually a refreshing drink. It actually does hydrate, but water does that.
Yeah, you can drink water warm without penalty.
Yes. tying together 2 out of 3 of our podcast. 2 barrels. Okay, well, tying together. Here it goes. I skipped ahead of myself. Allison Chains is making their own bourbon called All Secrets Known.
Do it now.
Yes, Allison Chains is starting to brew or distill their own bourbon. They're going to call it All Secrets Known, which is their opening track on Black Gives Way to Blue, the first album with William Duvall. And I'm glad I got it right that time. I always want to say Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall's an actor. But I'm anxious to try that, and I'm not sure how aged it will be, but if it's being made in Seattle, you're going to get a good 2 months of aging out of the year, so it'll be ready by the tricentennial. Steve, now in Kentucky, there are 2 barrels of bourbon for every person actually living in the state of Kentucky.
Wow.
That's a lot of booze. But think about how many different kinds of bourbon and whiskey there are. And most of them are in Kentucky.
Yep. You say as we're drinking something from Tennessee.
Shh. And in car news, this is just in, breaking news, right when you were coming over to the house. Fiat Chrysler automobiles have agreed in principle to merge with PSA Group from France, Peugeot.
Since that Renault alliance worked out so well back in the day.
Yep, and it, yeah. It would make the 4th largest car company in the world, but why? But somebody said that's not a merger, it's a head-on collision. And then another part, the comment section's always great, and it was, I can smell the recall notices from here. You get a transmission failure. You get a transmission failure. I don't think that's such a great idea, Steve.
Yeah,
if I see 2 car companies merge, I want it to be, what would you want to see? Now that you're on the spot. No pressure or anything. But I can't imagine I
never to think of like mergers as terribly great things, but they've happened in the past, and sometimes have had some interesting results. See my car. See your car.
Fair. Very fair. But this, I think that somebody said this would be the 4th different parent group that makes Jeeps in the last 11 years.
Yeah.
Which is batshit nuts.
Uh-huh.
So that you might, every Wrangler might be the same looking, but it sure as hell has different parts on it, I guess. Or different.
That's going to make that ancestry report really complicated.
Differently sourced parts. Yeah, it'd be like an ancestry report for Emily and her family. That's all the beer news and breaking car news I have for you today. So, Steve, do you want to start officially this episode with Halloween theme and shock rock and dressy up bands, or do you want to go best movie cars?
I reckon do the music thing.
You want to do music? So I wrote down what I could think of, and then I looked up a couple. Because you mentioned the other day, you said somebody was like the father of like shock rock or
Yeah, so predating Alice Cooper was Arthur Brown from England.
That's right.
Oh, so he is the god of hellfire, and he brings you fire.
I heard Screaming Jay Hawkins was on there too as one of the pioneers.
Just total wow man. That Arthur Brown clip I first heard on a Prodigy song, so it was funny hearing about I'm the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. Was initially I heard it on Prodigy from back in the late 90s. Like, well, that rolls the clock back 35 years before then.
Correct. I need to listen to some more Prodigy. I wore out Fat of the Land back in the day, but
same here.
Yeah, but that CD's long gone. And for those of you who don't know what that is,
it on tape.
A CD was right after a tape, but right before DVDs came popular.
Imagine a DVD that only plays music or audio.
Yes. So I have Alice Cooper, obviously. Lordy.
That is Finnish Gwar.
Yep, and Gwar is next on there. I have
Monster Rock.
Ooh, here's a confession. I've never listened to Gwar.
Did you ever see Empire Records?
No.
That's worth a look. Gwar makes an appearance in that and eats one of the dudes in the movie.
So if you had to describe Gwar's music to me in the Cliff's Notes version of what it kind of sounds like, then could you do it to me accurately?
Imagine if aliens from space came to Earth and they're here to rip your nuts off and then feed them to you. That's about what it sounds like.
I imagine Lori's the same way.
It's pretty bonkers, and yes.
Okay. I have Ghost on here, which you still haven't really investigated.
Listed much, but it's what European
symphonic
metal.
Swedish satanic metal, but it's all a joke. They don't believe in anything, but it's all the act. It's all the act.
Nihilists, Lebowski. We are nihilists.
Flee.
We believe in nothing.
That was a perfectly cast movie. I can't imagine any of those characters like G.G. Allen.
That's shocking.
Yeah, it's very shocking. King Diamond, I have.
Sometimes your fate isn't merciful.
What was the name of that? His biggest song. It was the chick, the girl's name. It was oh god, I don't remember it.
Not Shannon Tate. I can't help you.
Sharon Tate?
Yeah, her too.
You getting Shannon Tweed and Sharon Tate mixed up?
Yeah, whatever.
Sharon Tweed. That sounds like a group bong hit.
And I have to take off your pants and jacket after that one.
They have great album names. Kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, love them or hate them, we hate them, but that's kind of the fire-breathing tongue platform shoes. They put out a disco album, so they suck. Marilyn Manson. Have you been to a Manson concert?
No.
I have not either, and I've heard that if you get the good, sober Manson, it's a great show. If you get the drunk Manson, it's horrible. And I dare not risk the ticket price, because I've really...
Contesting the protesters is always fun.
It's true. Buckethead. Not really a shock rock,
What,
but he does dress
Yeah.
up. It dresses up. Great guitar player. I mean, mind-blowingly good guitar player. The myth is he's Steve Vai. But I don't think it's Steve
I was wondering if I ever dressed up in a white suit and been to Kentucky.
I bet you a lot of people in Kentucky dress up in white suits.
Heyo.
Let's see. It's Slipknot.
Yep.
And Early Mudvayne.
Saw them at Fear Factory. That
Yep.
was insane.
I haven't listened to much Fear Factory either. Fear Factory is industrial.
Yeah, demanufacture and obsolete. All the rest of it, you're on your own.
Gotcha. The Misfits.
Yep.
I haven't listened to any of the Misfits.
Get your devil lock together.
The only thing I know about the Misfits is that sticker or patch that everybody had on their book bag of the Misfits, like pseudo logo.
The skull thing.
Yeah, and every now and then I do still see those, but then I wonder if the people, the tweeners, even know what the fuck that is. All right, here's the last three I had on my list were the Village People.
Definitely the epitome of costume rock.
ICP and Devo.
What the hat?
I would love to see that concert, that group of three bands, just in any order. I don't care which order it's in. Did I hit a lot of the ones you had?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I would also raise you the goth era Damned, where everyone's dressed steampunky.
They were English?
Yes.
Okay. Probably a safe bet.
Yeah. I was like, or the Cure, while not necessarily costume rock, this is the quintessential goth black, dressed all in black, doom and gloom.
Yeah, but it's teenage girl doom and gloom. It's not like that. To me, the Cure is like,
it's the worst thing ever, dude. Everything's so terrible.
I just don't like the Cure.
I've kind of been force feeding myself then. It's like, and they've got their moments.
I'm not unwilling to give it a shot, but I'm just saying, if I hear Friday's the
Friday My Love,
yeah.
That's the doomiest and gloomiest. What are you talking about, man?
Ugh. I can't describe to you what I would rather do than hear that song again. Who else you got besides? Who else was on your mental list?
That totally hits many of the bases.
Yeah, I mean, you could go deep into a black metal like genre, like Mortician or Cradle of Filth, and those guys, they dress up, but that That's almost more like a lifestyle than it is.
What if the bands are straight up cartoons rather than costumes?
Like Metalocalypse?
Yeah, it's Death Clock to you and Gorillaz-y.
Somebody posted a picture of like 6 random ass Nickelodeon characters, and it was like, man, Gorillaz is my favorite band. Fight me. It was like Chucky Finster, and like it was ridiculous. Emily's meeting somebody at Dunwell's for dinner, where you can get a donut bacon cheeseburger while listening to a guy in a MAGA hat tell you why all black people suck, which is why I haven't been back to Dunwell's in a long time.
So it's right back. Enjoy eating the racism.
Yeah. Well, there was who was it? He had a cure for racism. Let's all fuck each other till everybody's one color.
South Park did it, and everyone becomes a lovely shade of mauve.
I'm okay with that. Steve, actually, and we forgot to do this before we... are we done with bands? That's about all the bands I can think of that were...
That's about it for Muka News.
Wasn't there a band called Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually what I was playing my phone when I was at work.
Fucking nice. This is funny. Okay, so I have this very phallic-looking thing on... This is Southern Tier Brewing Company on it. Well, the other day... I was at Pour 64. Southern Tier was the brewery of the month, and they had a raffle. And
still the month, man. We can still go.
Well, I never win anything, and I know I never win anything. But I put my 2 raffle tickets in, and I left before the second part of the raffle, and I handed them to Brian Layton, our last guest we had, and I said, "Here you go. If I win something, let me know, or if you think it's cool enough and you think I don't want it, keep it yourself." Well. He texted me when I got home, as soon as I hit the door. "Hey, you won. I'll hold it for you." Cool. Steve, this is a Quiver insulated beer can holder.
Oh, nice.
So you can put beer cans in it. So it's just hard to describe, but picture a Quiver for arrows, except it zips up and you can put cans in it, and it keeps them cold, and it looks like something.
And it looks like
Archer.
You could probably hold a 6-pack of Tall Boys in it. I had
maybe 8.
I had a similar thing like that. I bought at Play It Again Sports. My brother works at the one in Greensboro. It's a really neat idea, but you better have your beers chilled because you're fitting no ice in this thing, and it sprang a leak and promptly fell apart since it was made of cardboard. Whereas this is lined canvas, so it's not like it's going to dissolve.
Yes, I think when I was there. The guys were like, when you could win prizes, blah, blah, stick around. I'm like, I don't want a prize. I want to come back and play at your brewery again. We only played there once. And Brian laughed, and the guys were laughing. He's like, "Hey, man, we're just messengers. We're not bookies." Yeah.
Speaking of Southern Tier, picked up a 15-pack of their cans at the Mooresville Costco that opened when I was in Charleston back in June for $16.
Nice.
Which for Southern Tier beers is fairly cheap.
Southern Tier does dessert beers better than anybody else does dessert beers.
These were not dessert beers.
What were they?
All IPAs.
I'm okay with that, but like Resident Culture opened in Plasmid, and you've been.
Yeah.
Did they have anything else besides IPAs?
Yeah, I don't think I paid much attention to those since they had. It must have been half a dozen IPAs of varying strengths that all taste the same. So it's very bizarre what they're doing. Like, I don't know, they brewed like one really strong one, like each one's like different degrees of watered down.
Yeah, I mean that's the that is the problem, because like if your brewery only has IPA, like, or any style, if you're gonna get a flight of 8 and all 8 are IPAs, unless you have like vodka or something to cleanse your palate, or Diet Coke or something, like they're all going to run together. It doesn't matter what the ABV is. I mean, it's all going to run together.
Can you bring me a pitcher full of the flight? That'd be so much easier.
A pitcher of Witch Doctor, like just every. I'm okay.
The beer side.
I miss the tower beers that we had at Bad Dog back in the day when we actually saw our friends.
We used to be fun.
Hey, we still are fun. All of our friends who have children, we still love them, but we don't get to see them that much. You're going to Friendsgiving?
No.
You're not?
I'm going to be in Brian's wedding.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is that day.
Yeah, so can't make that one either.
Yep, Emily's not going. I'm going to the wedding, but not the reception, so I have to load up on my way to a wedding with a tux, several $1,000, or not tux, but my suit, and several $1,000s worth of musical equipment and a change of clothes to drive back to Monroe. So I am planning on
from
going.
Belmont, that's going to be a menace.
Don't remind me.
You'll be all right.
I mean, I want to go, and I'm planning on going, but it might be one of those last minute. I can't go, guys. I'm sorry, and I don't want to do that to them. But I mean, nobody's gonna be paying attention to me anyway. It's all about the bride that day. I should know. I was just supposed to show up and say I do, and then move on with my life. Bless me. So now that we're done with the shock rock and the Halloween bands, I cannot believe we've done 44 previous episodes and not discussed movie cars. I can't believe that. So, Steve, you go through your list.
What, so prior to my love of Back to the Future, what does this remind you of?
Herbie.
Yes.
Yep, which I've never seen any of the Herbies.
Skip the ones after you were born.
Okay. How many of them were before?
Oh God, there must have been 4 or 5 of them.
I didn't. I thought it was just like a one and done. I didn't realize.
No, there were several.
Jesus Christ, man!
It was batshit, but 60s through 80s batshit that you had.
Was his last name Hancock?
It was the original autonomous car.
That is interesting. I did not know that. Let's see there. You're going to learn something on the podcast today. I had no idea. I had it on my list. What else you got? Because I wrote down a lot.
And the obligatory DMC-12 from Back to the Future. So it was real shocking seeing a DeLorean in person, realizing it's not kitted out like the time machine.
What do you mean it didn't come like this?
The lines were initially much cleaner. Or see also the less factory that is an Isuzu Impulse or Volkswagen Scirocco that looks like the same damn thing.
It kind of does.
For a tenth the price.
Probably the same price to keep it running, though. At this point, I'm sure parts availability is starting to get a little bit.
The Volks would be easier to keep running since it's all golf running gear and there's zillions of golfs.
Yeah, that's true.
The Impulse, not such an easy thing.
Well, remember the last gen Impulse was basically a Geostorm.
Yeah, it was just a slightly different body on it.
And I like the Geostorm quite a bit, actually. And the only thing like keeping...
I never saw that movie.
The only thing like... That's my favorite X-Man's Geostorm. That was stupid.
We have a knockout. This is called Landslide.
Steve, what else you got?
The 62 Cadillac Hearse from Ghostbusters.
The Ectomobile. I'm checking off everything that you and I got in common. And since I led the way on Shock Rock, you're
59. Whatever.
I think it was
59. It was a 25-year-old car because in the awful remake they used an 84, so it was real strange seeing like the square body Cadillac Hearse as the Ectomobile.
I don't like it.
It doesn't work with the squared off car. It needs way more flair.
How was the remake?
I don't know. I just know the car was different.
I've got to imagine the remake.
I've heard nothing good about it.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, the idea was there, but I don't think just
it
having
needs to be a good idea. That's where they went wrong.
Here's the problem. I think they did an all-female cast just to do it, not because they thought it was a good idea. Does that make sense? Like, and it's not an anti-woman thing. It's just like it didn't make sense that they had to have an all-women.
Yeah, to completely obliterate the original stories too.
It's like redoing. Let's flip the script. Let's do. Ironically enough, I'm gonna. I don't think you.
I'm gonna make my Ocean's 8 remake. It's gonna be Ocean's 9.
You wouldn't have. I don't think you would have named this car, but I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna let you keep going, but it kind of goes to my metaphor here. So if they redid Thelma and Louise with 2 male actors, like, it doesn't make fucking sense. But I have Thelma and Louise's '66 Thunderbird on here. But you see what I mean? It doesn't make. Just do it with guys. Let's do it with guys. See what it. No, don't fucking do it.
In that movie, they fell into 2 pits.
Are you saying their favorite option in our favorite game is scissors?
I meant Brad.
That's cutting edge. What else you got, Steve?
The MC Pacer.
Yep, I got that on here too.
Because Wayne's World.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You're almost out of beer, aren't you?
Halfway-ish. Well, was there ever a Knight Rider movie?
I didn't have Kit on here.
Well,
God
for what's
damn
worth,
it.
that was TV car. But
it's I mean,
Star Car.
It's yeah. I mean, we'll base. Well, I don't know if they had a. That's a good question, actually. Let's ask David. This is fun. I like to see if we actually think what we do think alike.
Don't hassle the half man.
Germans love David Hasselhoff. Didn't he do an album in German? He did a music.
Yeah, he's incredibly popular in Germany for his musical career.
But he
and
is of
stateside
German
where
descent.
with a name like that, you bet your ass he is. How's this for one? The 1971 Chevy Caprice convertible from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Didn't have that one.
Like, it's big, it's red, and the interior is coked out white. Surprise.
Yes.
Or a 72 Torino sedan driven by Mr. Jeff Lebowski.
Yep. I didn't write it down, but I had it in my head because
I've watched that movie twice in the last week.
Trying to get in character. Where are you guys going?
I'm abiding. Friend's place over west of downtown.
Yeah, we went to Brian.
A long way from anywhere.
We went to Brian and Paige's house Saturday, and he was Chucky, and she was Bride of Chucky.
Nice.
And they did it. I mean, oh my God, they do Halloween like I hate Christmas. They did it. Emily and I were the only one. Like, once Kevin and Leanne. Have you met Kevin and Leanne? Kevin, very clean cut guy, and Leanne's like 4 feet 10 inches tall.
Do not ring.
Okay, they
Kevin and the Leanne I know do not date each other.
Okay, Leanne did not dress up. Kevin was Stryker from Airplane, and I was the only one that got it right. And Emily's like, "Who's he supposed to be?" I'm like, "It's Ted Stryker." She's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Airplane. Remember I made you watch it?" She goes, "Oh, yeah." And I told Kevin, I was like, "She didn't crack a smile the entire time." He goes, "She has no soul." I was like, "Yeah, I know that, but I love her anyway." What else you got, Mr. Esteban?
What, Keaton's BMW 2002 and Mr. Mom?
I didn't have that.
It's just going to, like, obscure Jalopnik articles at this point.
That's really...
Hey, remember this odd thing they drove?
God
or
damn, that's
the
obscure.
other Back to the Future cars, the 46 Ford, the 85 Toyota pickup.
Mm-hmm. That is very obscure.
Doc Brown's... What the hell was that thing? A Packard?
Isn't that your favorite football team, the Green Bay Packards?
The least corrupt one in the league, like at least ownership-wise.
Yeah, kind of. Although I've heard David Tepper's pretty nice in person.
They don't have names.
Panthers owner. What else you got? See, I wrote mine down. So.
Yeah, so it's just... What, you want a GMC Safari? No, the bigger one. A-Team van. Once again, TV car.
Well,
or you got your Torino and your Charger from Starsky and the Duke brothers or Hazard brothers.
Yep, there we go. All right, you got Starsky and Hutch, and you got the General Lee. Actually, it'd be like if you're when you're out of ideas, if you're out of the ones that
yeah, the ones that I can think off the top of my head because I don't write anything down for this.
I'll just make you keep guessing. This is even fucking better. Actually, this is actually a better idea.
Or an Aston Martin DB5.
All right,
James Bond much?
I have Bond cars as its own
thing.
Its own thing. Because I've only seen GoldenEye, Casino Royale. God damn it. That's the two I know I've seen. I have not seen...
That's two of the better ones.
Okay, I haven't seen any of the old ones. Other than bits and pieces about no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
That's from Goldfinger, and the DB5
Goldfinger
appears in that one because back then that was a new car.
65?
64.
Jesus. My dad graduated high school in 1964. He was the second graduating class of South Stanley High School.
Wow.
Yeah. This is fun.
Is that where you went, or is it west?
I went to west.
Okay.
He went to south.
Over the weekend, met a guy that was there, but that'll be an off-air comment.
Gotcha. Toby went to south. Let's see here. Steve, I'm going to need you to think wagons to knock out a couple of more I have on here.
Homer Simpson's car?
No, but that would have been a good one, actually. Wagons.
Blazing Saddles didn't have cars proper till the very end of the movie.
Not that kind of wagon.
A 74 Cadillac limousine.
No, I think you're looking for some kind of national wagon that was in a couple of movies.
Oh, Lampoon.
Yes, the National Lamp.
The family truckster.
Yes.
And then son of truckster, it's a Ford Taurus.
Yes, and then another, maybe a wagon from a Quentin Tarantino movie. Oh, Kill Bill.
I haven't seen that since theater.
Pussy wagon. Got the pussy wagon on here. All right, Steve. Now we're going muscle cars. This is going to knock out quite a bit of my...
We're not thinking Lamborghini Countach and Speed Zone, the third Cannonball Run movie.
I've got that on here.
they actually had to.
Although that's not a
wing.
muscle. That's an exotic.
Yeah. So I'm just going to derail you as I think of stuff, if I think at all.
That's okay. We've got plenty.
Jackie Chan Starion.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, of course I had that. Of course I had that. How much beer you got left?
It's done.
All right. So
what you want?
We can have something you brought, or we can have something I brought. I got some goodies. I got that Barrel and Bean, which was fucking $19 for a 4-pack.
Pardon?
Yeah. And then I have that cookie one from Birdsong. Emily will stab me in the chest if I drink her Scrumpies that I bought her. Or we can have something. Or I got that Black Boss, which is a Polish beer. But we have to share it in our glasses, which
that could totally work.
You want to be bossy, or you want to go Barrel and Bean?
Get bossy.
Let's get bossy. I'm very happy that we've come together a little bit on this movie cars thing. Although I have plenty more, but I will wait till you get back. But I will say, I think what I'm going to do is get the bumper repainted from the rock chips and stuff on the S2K, and I'm going to list it for sale. I know winter is a really shitty time to list a convertible for sale, but I think I'm going to list it.
Fuck global warming. This is hell's freezing going on right now.
I'm going to list it, I believe, for $20, and I'm not going to take a penny less. And it's not costing me anything to keep, so I'll just keep it until somebody writes me that check. What do you think?
I'm not shocked. This is a wild idea that you keep kicking around, but it's like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's like, the odds were totally 50-50. I was like, well, it's taking up space. You never drive the damn thing.
Yeah, but you know what I'm going to do.
Get something else you're not going to drive.
Exactly.
So
that's my MO. My problem...
I think that'd be more an modus operandi.
This is the problem, before we keep going with movie cars, and we need to drink this Black Boss. By the way, I have hot... All right, it's a Black Boss Porter, and it's from Poland, and I don't think we've had any beers from Poland on here.
It's been a while since I could think of a beer I've had from Poland.
Oh, what was it?
I don't remember. It was from there, and it was good.
So it wasn't...
They're neighbors of Germany, World War II jokes aside. It's been 80 years, guys.
From Berlin to Poland in one tank. Well, that's all it's got on the it's a Black Boss Porter. It's fucking 9.4%.
What's that GPS reference from?
I got nothing.
BMW buying Mini Cooper.
Gotcha. Steve, that's actually good. It does not drink like a 9.4%. That drinks like a 5.5%er.
That is schmoove.
That is fucking great. Black Boss Porter, original Baltic Porter, brewed and bottled by Browar Vinitka S.A. since 1848.
That's brother to you, bro.
From Vitnica, Poland. Sole USA importer is Arco LLC, New Britain, Connecticut. That's a lot cooler than it actually should
They
be.
said Stamford, funny. Red Stripe, distributed from Stamford, Connecticut. Hooray, beer!
Hooray, nothing in Connecticut. I want to get your opinion on this because I value your automotive opinion over almost anybody I know. Actually, over anybody I know because we have such similar tastes. Is there a car that you like that I don't, and that I like that you don't?
I certainly seem to like the slow motion Twitter twins a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
But you slap a supercharger in that thing, it gets a lot more entertaining.
True. That's about the only one I can think of that you like that I don't, or that I like and that you don't. I don't think there's anything I like that you are like, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah. No, it's not like I'm being force-fed to go buy anything. Like, dude, you need to get this. Yeah, well, I can't afford that, or I would never be caught dead driving that thing. While I may not trust Chryslers, they certainly do more entertaining things than most.
They do. The things I'm cross-shopping, though, are all over the place. Like, I would not mind having a Cayman S, 2014 or later.
Okay.
Looking at
and that's the way to do it. Apparently getting a base Cayman, just an expensive slow car.
Exactly.
Relatively.
Yeah. C7 with the Z51 package. And Viper.
Okay.
First-gen Viper. Although they call the second-gen Viper is technically the one that had airbags after 1996. That's technically a second-gen Viper.
You can't crash if you don't drive it.
Yeah. And by the way, it was only a Widowmaker.
Says the guy whose truck got hit while parked. So your mileage will vary. Don't park at Ashford Green. Don't take it near Saucer. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Well, do you know why air-cooled 911s and Vipers were called Widowmakers? Was because tires fucking sucked then.
Yeah.
Tires are really good now. Really good now. So
particularly the 911 Turbo was the Widowmaker because then it's a matter of this rear engine thing that it has this burst of power and it pendulums.
Mm-hmm. But even with Pilot Sports or Pilot 4S tires, you're going to really have to poke that bear hard to wake that bear up to bite you. So I'm not worried about that at all. But my problem is this is going to sound very weird. I'm going to try to articulate it. The S2000's interior is very nice. It's not rattly. It's put together really well. Those Vipers were not, but it's a hoot to drive and to look at. But I think I would tire.
It is a V10 surrounded by scaffolding.
Yeah, I would tire of looking at that dashboard every day. I think every time I drive it, I would tire looking at it. It would not be a nice place to be. On the flip side, though, the C7 Corvette is a super nice place to be. But I'm not used to computers and driving modes and nav screens and screens in general and electronics, and I don't really like that sort of thing.
At least the screens will have an off switch. At least they should.
It does, and the off screen is just the Corvette flags.
Okay.
And you don't even have to use it at all because it's navigation. I mean,
it was a C6 or C7 that had the gun pocket behind the screen too.
7. Yeah, you just press screen and it goes down.
Like, dude, part with me once, and like the screen drops. Like, oh, that's cool.
You've driven a C7, haven't you?
I mean, not driven, but at least
valet.
Sat in and like had one in motion. But yes,
it was nice, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because
I think I've had a 5, a couple of 6s, and a 7.
I've driven a 5, and I was like, oh, this is fun. God, this is horrible. It's simultaneous. The 7, like it does have the screen go down, and the screen is basically for navigation.
Step it up, man. Just get a C4 so you have the S10 dashboard in it.
If the C4 ZR1 though, that'd be fun, and it's pretty cheap actually for what it is. But parts are becoming unobtainium. But
no, what you do then is buy the car, and then you buy a bunch of boats and harvest their engines.
That would go swimmingly well.
Body shell wise, you're not hurting.
True. But with the C7 too, it's all physical buttons for radio, and I think climate control. So it still has physical buttons for that stuff.
And I think some automakers have caught on that people don't want touchscreens to handle the everything. Like, oh, you want your heated seats? Oh, go into this menu, go into this subset to adjust a thing to set your ass at 100 instead of 90.
Yep. And at heart, though, I'm not a Corvette guy, and it was an old man sports car, but I don't think the C7's an old man sports car.
They finally made a decent car out of it. That's what happened.
I think the C4, 5, and 6 are the old. I don't think you see a lot of older 60-year-old dudes driving C7s. I don't think.
It still looks quite rakish.
And the thing, too, is I was telling Thomas at work, if I sell the S2K and I buy something else and I'm going to spend what I'm going to spend on it, it's going to be exactly what I want. I'm not, because I love my S2000, but
you want it in white.
I didn't want silver. I would have red would have been okay. Yellow would have been okay. I didn't really want silver, and I didn't want a solid black interior, because to me that's kind of boring.
So if you finally decided you want to put it on the auction block, can I drive the damn thing?
Yes.
Sweet.
There
you have it, folks. Double hell freezing over.
It would be a white.
I would play the Eagles album, but I hate the fucking Eagles, man.
You gotta stay in character. It would be white.
Y'all ain't ready for this picture.
It would be white with the black interior, but with red seats.
Nice.
Or it would be the one with the what was it called? The Kalahari interior. Have you seen that?
No, but that's like some form of red or shade of tan.
This is gonna surprise you.
Okay. If you're naming your interior after the desert, that's where my mind's going.
I think you're gonna like this. I think you're gonna like this quite a bit.
Baseball glove. Because I saw that on a Miata and really like that. It's baseball glove. Okay,
yes.
Nice.
You like that?
Yes.
I
don't care for tan interiors, but that's special.
That's really special. But I kind of want the competition seats, but that's a rare option, and not the competition seats look like that. I would rather have the red seats, but the Kalahari interior looks really, really nice. But like I said, if I'm going to spend them, I want to get exactly what I want, so I don't want to change something like down the line.
Seat covers are cheap.
True. Because I was like, oh, I'm going to
and my lovely neoprene seat covers come in that exact same color 3 years later. And it's black with silver piping, which matches my car's interior just fine to protect the interior that is in pretty decent shape for a 260,000-mile car.
Very fair.
The exterior, though, the paint's not falling off. The car is balding.
So I don't know what Jeep painted XJs with in my vintage, but they did an okay job at it, I would say. But I'm thinking I might be over stigma. Like see a lot
align it.
The thing is, you see a lot of vets, but I don't think that matters to me anymore. Like, I would never have a Mustang. Sorry, Mark. But to me, a Mustang and a Corvette are different. It's completely different.
It's not a Mustang. It's a very unique-looking BMW.
How do you catch a unique rabbit?
Unique up on it.
Yes. How do you catch a tame rabbit? Tame way. But I want to drive one first. But I think I might sell it because I hate to say that I'm getting bored with it, but I'm kind of getting bored with it. I've had the top off for 2 weeks and driving it around topless and everything. I don't know.
It's interesting you finally also decided to get a top stand for the car that you never took the top off. Like, probably not since you've been in this house, right?
Oh, no, I've had it off.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. I don't think they've reached the point where I can't get another one if I wanted another one.
No, that's still pretty easy to come by.
Yeah. Now
I could talk to my future brother-in-law and see if he'd be interested, but that's a really far stretch. But at Kalen's folks' place, the neighbor across the street has an S2000, oddly enough, also in silver, but of course with flat top.
Yeah.
But he expressed interest in that one.
Send him a message and see what he says.
Sure.
Yep. See, I'll take money. I'll take some of the price off for needing the bumper, resprayed for rock chips. But everything has a price. Everything I have is for sale except Emily, the cats, and that amplifier. Everything else is for sale. Even the guitars are for sale. Maybe not the blue one and the acoustic.
Yeah, the acoustic's your moneymaker, isn't it?
It kind of is. And it has locking tuners on it now, which is great. Explanation upon request.
I presume that means that they stay in place and they don't rotate as you're playing.
They don't rotate. All right, so here's the thing. All three of them have locking tuners now, but the bass doesn't. So if you ever seen the top of a headstock and you've seen the string wound around it, that's not a locking tuner. Well, now, locking tuners, what you do when you restring it, you pull the string tight, and then you take basically a coin at the top and twist it and tighten it. And once it's tightened, it's in place. Snip it, tune it into place. No more winding the string around and around and around. So now that... All right, I'm taking the headphones off. It's hard to explain.
Okay. This is going to work wonders for a auditory format.
So the string goes, when I'm stringing it, I put the string in, pull it straight tight.
I've got one of those dumb postal dollar coins in the car. Would that fit?
Yep, tight as I can, and then put a quarter in there, and then turn it and lock that string in place. Pitch. Whereas bass guitar, it's wound around it several times.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes string changes much easier.
I was going to say, it's just going to be a cleaner look, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know me. I'm all about aesthetics. Have you ever heard a C7 with the Corsa exhaust on it?
Pardon?
A C7 Corvette with the Corsa exhaust? Off air. We'll listen to that.
Do you hear about the C8 race car with a flat plane crank V8 in it?
Did you listen to it? Oh, my God.
There you have it, folks. It's the American Ferrari. Would you have any interest in watching Ford versus Ferrari? The tale of
I've seen
the GT40 versus Ferrari back in the mid-'60s, beating them at Le Mans. Le Mans. 3 years in a row after Ford wanted to buy Ferrari. Yep. Ferrari shut them down, so they beat them at their own game.
Oh, yeah. I've watched... Who made that video? Because I've seen a video like that, but I don't remember what it was.
I'm sure it's been well documented, but I know who may have done so. But the fact you've got The Martian versus Batman at the helm is pretty rad, too. It's like the only movies I'm really interested in seeing right now are New Zombieland and that.
Yeah.
That said, it appears I'm watching Joker next week.
Nice.
So I'm going to watch Network and The Taxi Driver to get ready.
Cool.
Because then I'll realize I've watched the same movie already.
Did you listen to Woody on WTF?
Not yet.
And Kevin Smith was on JRE.
I noticed that too.
I was listening to that.
Currently lives on this thing here as I poke my lovely tablet of 4 years vintage, and some I haven't killed it yet.
And I've subscribed to Smoking Tire podcast, and I listened to Savage Geese from a year ago.
Nice.
It was great. And
the most recent episode is the makers of a Fast and Furious parody.
Yeah.
Holy shit, those guys were funny.
When I listened to Savage Geese...
it's not that there's been a bad episode of it, but the current format, it's leaner, it's meaner, and it's better.
Yeah. I was... there was... on Savage Geese podcast, I think it was Matt Farah was talking about... I think his in-laws have a tradition of sending birthday cakes. Have you heard about this?
I don't remember that at all.
In the mail. What they do is they get a really nice birthday cake for whoever's birthday it is and take a picture of it, how it looks, and then they mail it to you in the regular
see
mail.
What happens.
And then it shows up and it's destroyed.
That's incredible. Okay, that rings a bell. It's like I didn't remember where this is going. It's like Well, I've been listening to everything since the dawn of the Million Mile Lexus, and that's pushing 5 years ago.
I can't believe it's been that long.
And there's another 200 episodes before that, so that's what I have in car rotation, so I can play catch up among all the other crap I have on half a terabyte drive. Thanks, Woot. This was a $40 investment instead of on Newegg or Amazon. That's a $100 thing.
Yeah.
As weather gets colder, it takes a long time for that thing to read itself before it'll continue playing.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Only like smaller drives don't do that, but anything that's been 512 gigs, it gets slower. The 256s were decent.
It gets patient.
And I don't. Yeah, you're saying it's getting sick. Yeah, and I'm getting sick of it.
The fog is getting thicker.
And Leon's getting larger.
On the other than those two, the other short list of things are unobtainium and
Lotus.
I like the Evora. I really like the Evora, but
LS swapped a Spree.
LS swapped RX-7, but I don't want to buy somebody else's project. But I also don't want to buy two separate cars and make it one and pay for all that labor. So that's almost out of the question.
Get car, get engine, get cherry picker. How hard could it be?
Come over to the Busted Knuckle Garage here in Mint Hill. Repair and despair under one roof. And the other one is completely unobtainium. It would be the one I would have in the garage right now if I could.
LS4 swap DeLorean.
Nope, I'm going to let you.
That would be my chariot of choice for dumb things. Be irritated by every last person at a gas station.
I'm going to let you guess what it would be. I think you're going to get it in the first 4 guesses. But it would be what I would replace it right now with, and I would probably keep it forever.
R32 Skyline, because you can't get an R33 or 34 easily.
No.
NSX.
Yes. It would be an NSX. And it would be a 99 with the 6-speed and the pop-up headlights. And it would be white with a target top. I would never get rid of it. Ever. Here's the fun fact. Mr. Brian Layton, did not know how expensive NSXs are. You can get a used
the average car is now what, 60?
Yeah, you can get a brand new NSX
that's
for
double
cheaper.
your budget.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to go over 37.5.
Okay.
Only because if I get 20 for the S2K, I'm going to be financing 17.5. Just because you could theoretically do something doesn't mean you should do something.
I know. I could trade my 97 Tacoma on an 07 Tacoma, and 6.5 years later, that still haunts my finances.
You might have been pushed to do it.
No, that was completely on whim.
No, listen. Blame it on Bruce and move the fuck on.
That was before that creature.
Oh, god damn. That poor guy.
Yeah, 3 years later, I made a much better decision on April 3rd.
Yeah, well, I don't know. What do you think? Because I don't like computer nannies, but the C7's very intriguing. But I also want a nice place to be. But I like pantomime and theater. But then I thought about a Jag.
Mm-hmm. F-Type.
Good.
Super
Supercharged
V6.
V6. But would that be more fun than a C7? I don't think it would be.
No.
Like
the Cayman could outhandle it. I'm probably going to go on the reins of Everyday Driver and nudge you toward a Porsche.
True, but when they drove, like the Cayman, have you seen? Because the Savage Geese drove the Cayman, and he said the engine is impossible to get. Like if you have to have any service done, it's hard to get to that engine because it has 2 trunks. It has the front and the back trunk, and That's a hard car to get.
At no point did you mention the 911, when the engine is straight up in the back. You pop the back, there's a motor.
The only 911 I want, though, mostly is, I think, 993. And that's not
That's
happening.
Immediate six figures.
That's an immediate
yeah.
six. And it's not even for the engine. I don't care if it has a radiator or not. Like,
yeah, everyone's like, it's air cooled. It's like, bullshit, fuckers. It's oil cooled.
yeah. I like it because I think it looks better. The hips, the whale tail on it. I think it's a better looking car. I don't give a fuck about the
I like
other
the
stuff.
964 for being a cleaned up initial 911.
Mm-hmm.
It still has the classic looks, and it's of limited production numbers. Therefore, it's going to be impossible to come by too.
You can get a 996 for very cheap.
Yeah, but while in Asheville, I saw a 996 and one of the 911 convertibles, like one of the 80s ones.
Wow. Okay.
As
Good
well.
shape?
Totally.
Nice. So, would it be a horrible idea for me to have a C7?
Nah.
I don't think so. It'd be fun.
It'd be very Mitt Hill of you too.
Fair enough. but I don't fit the.
But it's not a Jeep or a giant pickup truck either.
Well, the thing about stereotypes is every car has a stereotype though too. So the Corvette, every Corvette, if you drive a Corvette, you have a stereotype. Mustang, same way. I drive a Honda.
Everyone thinks I drive a shrunken version of Walter White's car.
Fair. And
actually, it does have meth in it right now. Thanks, Costco.
Well, look at the cars I have. I have a Honda and a Jeep. So I have immediate stereotypes, and both of them are incorrect. So every car you ever have has a stereo. I can't think of a car that you would own and then universally you would be liked. Universally, right across the board. And besides, if you're buying cars for other people's approval, then I don't know what to tell you. Although I will say everybody goes bonkers over that V12 Vantage, the 6-speed at Cars and Coffee. That's a cool one.
They're still trying to remove my drool stains from it.
Fair. But I was like, Mark and I were walking, we saw it, and Mark's like, I hate to ask you this, but what do you do for a living? And he laughed because I'm a pediatric surgeon. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, people pay good money to make sure their kids are still alive. So you can afford that sort of thing. It's in black, though. They do have a V8 Vantage at Godspeed Motors that's 6-speed, but it's $48,000, and there's nothing more expensive than a cheap Aston Martin.
That there, if I was in your shoes, that's my stupid sports car purchase right there.
Would you like to see pictures?
The thing is, those Astons are made of Ford parts, so you got to know where to look.
Permission to see?
It's not gonna.
Permission to see the car?
I would love permission to see the car.
That
was the first Aston I drove.
How
really
was it?
Enjoyed it. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna Men's Warehouse you, Steve. You're gonna like the way it looks. I guarantee it.
Ooh.
They do have a regular Cayman at Godspeed Motors, but I will always go, well, I should have had the other one. Whereas with the Vet, you're like, yeah, I could have had a Z06, but now I'm going to have to spend $60,000 or ZR1, which is way unobtainium. Actually, everything's unobtainium, and I should just shut up and be happy with what I have, but no, I'm not going to do that.
Look at it this way. You don't have that stupid supercharger now.
Fair enough. Wow, this just in. 27 911 Carrera 4S. Automatic. Dead. BMW i8. No, let's just...
No.
We're sorting it to manual transmissions.
You want to have yourself a cool-looking car that isn't good at anything? Here, have an i8.
No, never mind. It's a 2012 V8 Vantage with 41,000 miles. You're going to like this color because I like this color. And I didn't even want a silver car. With the accents.
Are they English accents? Duh. Orange bits on it? All right.
Yeah, that's orange. Does Esteban like?
He does.
Yeah.
It'll look a lot better in dark green.
I'm not a big green. Even British
I
racing
think
green.
that's where I was going with that.
Ooh, there we go. $960 a month. That's without any down payment of any kind.
I think that's if you finance through them. I'm sure the Beeb could give me better figures. Like, hell, they financed my car when I was 12 years old. Hey, guys, I mentioned our car loan. You're not going to believe this one.
53 grand though. That's
Is that the same car or is that a different one?
No, that's the same. 53.
Okay. So it went up in price already.
Yeah, I thought it was lower, but
Okay.
it's 53, and really that's
You know,
$16,000 to $17,000.
never mind the money involved. The biggest offense to all this, I would need to pave the driveway of my stupid rental house.
Well, the other manual.
Otherwise, like the fact that my rough and tumbly cars going up a gravel driveway all the time, don't care. This thing ain't precious.
Godspeed Motors has 100 used cars. 8 of them are manual. They sold the vet.
That's higher numbers than your average used car lot, unfortunately.
Fair enough. 2012 GT500.
Whereas my next imaginary real car lives west of Atlanta.
The Toyota?
Yeah, the Scion. Yeah, basically the new Matrix.
Yes.
Not the new Corolla hatchback, because that's a brand new car, so those don't come cheap.
Nice looking car though. I've seen a couple out and about in Charlotte. That's actually a nice looking car.
And if it's in atomic green, it gets cheaper because that color is atrocious. Yeah, I'm just gonna take my slow car in red because that's hilarious.
I need another booze.
Oh, the Panthers blue is a pretty good looking one on that too.
Good looking color. What do you want next?
I'm going to present to you the pair of cans from the Boone Brewery. Take your pick.
Whatever you want. Like what? Just random it to me. I don't care. And I'll go over the manual gearbox selections from Godspeed Motors. And Godspeed Motors is an all-indoor showroom. 2012 Mustang Shelby GT500, $36,000. There's the Cayman, but it's not a bad price. Listen to this, Steve. 2014 Cayman, 63,000 miles, $31,900 for a base Cayman in red with the black wheels. Not a bad looking car, because the original Cayman looks like somebody vomited up lunch from last week.
I would say they tacked a roof on a Boxster.
2005 911 Carrera 997, 91,000 miles, $26,000. It's in black.
The 997 one? What year is that?
Yeah, regular headlights. 2005. First year of it. Which has those IMS bearing things.
I thought it was a 996 issue.
No, that's 996. Well, it might be both.
Okay.
Steve gave me a Trail Magic Double IPA from Boonshine.
Not from Nantahala.
Yeah.
I can vouch that's really good.
Well, that's good.
And I've got the Boonshine Atomic Seahorse. Because I don't want to say nuclear on the air. Whoops.
This one is 8. Oh, my God. It's an 8%.
Loud enough to knock you down, bro.
What's yours?
A paltry 5.5.
Aw. All right.
Gonna be all right.
Cheers.
Been there, had that, know where to find more.
Boonshine's awesome.
I was in Boone this weekend
that's
for my
good.
brother's bachelor party, and we were maybe a mile from that brewery, but didn't make it there until right before leaving town.
2017 Fiat Elaborazione Bart. 20 grand. Don't want it.
I presume Ken's isn't stick.
No.
Because that's what a 70-year-old needs.
2012 BMW 135M Sport.
Ooh.
$16,000.
I would adore an M2 or something that replicates an M2.
80,000 miles. 16 grand. Yeah, but
That's going to be some high mileage BMW action going on there.
05 Porsche Boxster. 70,000 miles. $15,000. That would not be that expensive. When something does break, it's not going to be cheap, but it's not going to break that much. And then a Z4, which nobody fucking cares about. That's it. So I have a very short list of things I would replace it with that I can actually afford. Or maybe I should just go without a car for a little while.
I keep saying, Turo's cheap, and then you don't have to pay for the maintenance on it. Like, you see something interesting, you drive it, you give it back.
The only C7
it's the nephew-niece effect.
The only C7 on Turo right now is an automatic. I'm not going to buy an automatic. I don't care how fast they are.
Or rent it. Or see if there's a supercar thing at the Speedway.
Yeah. Well, if I sell the S2K, what I thought about was going to the dealership and going, hey, if you ever get this car in this color with this interior and this transmission, please give me a call. I'm not interested in literally anything else. But
I think both my mechanics in Greensboro and Charlotte have that service, but usually it's for lesser fancy things.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever pops up.
Yeah, I'm going to drive. The thing is, Emily said, I don't want you to drive it. And I said, why? She goes, because you're going to like it. You're going to like it because I like it. I'm like, fair enough.
Are you buying the car, Emily? No.
Or are you driving it?
Instead, you get your big-ass Honda Buick.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing crawling in my mind is we're going to replace her car not soon, but probably the next 3 years.
I figure just have to go from a 99 to an 11 to a 22. And they follow suit.
Well, she doesn't want to sit that. She wants a CUV. She wants to sit up higher. But she legitimately has inherited migraines from her father, and bright lights give her migraines, so she wants to sit up a little bit higher so that she doesn't get that.
Those yellow sunglasses are cheap.
That's true,
It's
too.
the blue blockers.
I've had that before. That shit hurt. Oh, never mind. Back to movie cars after that 30-minute tangent about what I should buy. It's always fun shopping with somebody else's money.
Every crazy-ass thing in Fast and the Furious.
Until I find an NSX for what I want for it in championship white from Honda.
Get yourself a Mark IV Super, but non-turbo, bro.
I actually thought about...
it's called an AS300.
I thought about getting right-hand drive car from Japanese Classics. And getting like something cool that's right-hand drive.
A 95 Mr. 2.
They had a Sylvia as S14, the one with the
angry eyes.
Not the angry eye, the regular eyes, which I actually kind of like better.
Yeah, I never cared for the angry-looking ones.
I could take it or leave it.
It looked like those 03 Silverados. It's like, what's so mad about, bro? And nowadays, new Wranglers with those stupid like face fronts are just atrocious.
Don't get me started on that shit. Barbie drove a Wrangler, and that's all we need to know about that. Back to movie cars. Steve, you've missed a couple of the muscle cars. You've missed a Ford. You've missed a GM. You've missed another Ford. And you've missed a Chrysler product.
Ain't nobody watching Bullet nowadays, dude.
Bullets on there.
Or a Vanishing Point.
Vanishing Point's on there. The Challenger. I got that. You still have another Ford and 2 Mopars. That's all you got. Okay? All right. I'll give you what you got left.
Or ever watch Duel? It'd be a valiant effort if you did.
No.
Oh well, there's your Plymouth joke for the day.
Here's what's left. There's a Ford, GM, Chrysler. I have no idea. Italy, Toyota, Mopar. Germany.
England, the Italian Job and Italian Job remake.
The Italian Jobs. You still got the Mopars left. And you have one that you're not going to guess, but you're going to laugh your ass off when I...
It took some stretching, but I've already kissed it goodbye. Hit me with all your best shots.
Don't know.
I've plucked my brain of what it pretends to know. Yes.
Eleanor.
Please. Hot damn.
GT500.
or the original, and then that was
a Mach 1. The Mach 1 was the original one. Steve.
By the way, only watch the second half of the original movie. First half is a slog.
Yeah, it is. Smokey and the Bandit. Trans Am. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cut! How did you forget Smokey and the Bandit? Sally Field's on your mind. She's a Sally Field of Dreams. That's going to be the name of this episode.
I never find all nuns to be so fly.
For a white guy, chick. What else did I have on here? So got that. Steve, Christine.
Shit. Even the guy I bought my wheels from was building a Christine homage to make the creepiest thing possible in Thomasville.
I've seen. I watched.
It's gonna be a I think a 59, but I'm gonna swap at the front with a 58. And it's gonna sit here and just like blink at you, man. That's weird. Here's my money. I've got your wheels. See you never. Good luck with your project.
I do not want to come in for tea. I don't want to see anything.
No.
Don't want to end up a lampshade in your house.
Basically, for your health and safety folks, stay off exit 103 off 85. Otherwise, you might get murdered by Duderman.
That was which wheels did you sell?
No, I bought the TC wheels I've got now.
That's right. Okay.
I'll still need to post the previous ones. Like the 18s just didn't ride well because our roads suck.
Was that on Cracklist?
The Facebook Marketplace is how I acquired the TC wheels. The 18s I got off Facebook.
Okay.
No, vice versa.
Gotcha. Because
like I said, it's been a long month. The 17s on the car now were off of Facebook Marketplace. The 18s I got, I don't know, 3 years ago off of Cracklist because the guy had a Prius and realized they wouldn't fit. Darn.
I mean, why was the offset wrong?
No, the fender wells on a Prius were too small for these wheels. I don't know, 27 inches in diameter.
Oh.
That was just, it was rolled up next to the car. Like, yeah, you need, even if you jack the car up, it wouldn't have fit. Like, it was just, too long at that point.
Yikes.
Well, I will take these and realize that they are kind of beat the shit. Hey, anybody want to buy some 18-inch NK Super 7s? Nope, Super.
That was another thing with like the Vet's back tires are 295s and the Vipers are 335s. Oh, hello.
Yeah, weird.
$1,500 tires.
Yeah, it's like, could you get away with us putting smaller tires on it? You never drive the damn thing. It's not going to matter.
I'm not stancing out a Viper.
I think we're reverse stancing. It'd be stancing in.
Steve, you forgot the Wraith.
Like a Rolls?
No.
Or the fucking weird thing from that awful Sean Connery movie.
That. I mean, it was
I'm doing the world a favor by forgetting this thing.
Maybe
I call it an automobile. Yeah, you're creative, dude. No, at no point would I have called my horseless carriage that.
Transporter movies.
Your BMWs and Rowdy Audis.
Yep, I had that on there, but not my favorite. A 1984 Econoline van made as a sheepdog.
It's 1984 sheepdog. And I raise you a scooter. Trade it straight up, man.
Any generation of Batmobile. But what's your favorite Batmobile?
Keaton.
Yes! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's the best one. There's no contest. The Keaton Batmobile is the best Batmobile ever.
Second place is Adam West's.
Adam West.
And third place is anything else. Sorry, Tumblr. That's a neat idea, but you ugly.
Steve, I've never seen this movie, but he did joyride a Ferrari 250 GT.
a replica thereof in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Correct.
And by the way, you need to watch this damn movie.
Maybe you and Kay should come over and we should watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Us in what time?
Fair enough. Mm.
Yeah. Is that flash drive still downstairs? I'm going to steal it, and you're going to have all the things on it.
I think there's one in the seashell right there. That pink one is a flash drive.
That's an 8 gig. It can't hold shit.
I don't fucking know what any of that shit is. The Supra, the original Supra from the original Fast and Furious.
Oh, I was thinking like the original Supra. Like nobody is going nuts for a first gen Supra.
Oh, Mr. General Lee, we also have a 68 Charger in Blade. He drove a 68 Charger.
I haven't seen that since VHSs were a thing. I saw that in the second, and I never saw the third one. I still have 2 VCRs at home, but they're Siamese twins with DVD players, and they never work. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Goodwill, take this.
Well, the last one I have on my list is the Austin Powers E-Type Jag painted like the British flag.
Nice.
Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but
it's Jack for you, Union Jack.
yes. That's all the best movie cars that I could come up with and or look up. But you got TV shows too. So you got the what was it, that 70s show?
That's why they get morphed into star cars. The Vista Cruiser.
Vista Cruiser, yeah.
Ooh.
Or you had Gran Torino. They had a
Gran Torino
in Gran Torino, which I never saw because I'm not a huge Clint Eastwood fan.
I'm never that much addicted to Koreans, so
it's not Gran Torino. What happened to Karina?
flight attendant. So she's everywhere but here. Sorry, Greg.
I was going to say, and Greg is the only person that bought and daily drives
the Commodore. Where are the
Monaro?
The
Commodore is the G8. That would get strong. Sean Preston's thinking about getting one of those as a daily driver. Surprise!
Huh?
He's thinking about a big manual transmission sedan to drive around daily.
I saw an SS in Mooresville that was kitted out like Holden.
Jesus, that's so cool. I tried to talk him into an auto trans for one time in my life. I said, get a 96 Impala.
You should stop talking.
96 Impala Super Sport.
No, you get the car and you swap it. Duh.
Well, true, but he gets sent a lot of different places, so... Although, it never bothers me. People that say, oh, I have to have an auto in traffic. Why? I don't.
Stay out of traffic, dumbass.
By the way, on the way back from Raleigh, last time I was there 3 weeks ago for Ken's birthday, I didn't realize that one of those roads was a toll road. So I mapped out my road.
Something about
185?
I haven't been up there
140,
in a long time.
something
I
up
was
there.
thinking 540. The only one I was familiar with out there is like some stretch of 540 that has a toll because that was one of the first in the state. And I broke a monitor punching it with a middle finger.
Well, I thought about pulling over in the Jeep and just taking my license plate off and then driving my distance and then putting it back on. Because it took me 35 extra minutes to get home because I had to take a different way home.
That sounds like the last time I drove out of Florida. Going through Orlando instead of the toll roads. Well,
explain.
The principle, just to dodge the tolls. Like, wait, how'd I get here in the first place? And this was before I had GPS, too. So it was just, well, this road will take me to where I need to go and dodge the tolls.
And this was with Mr. Campbell, right?
This was pre that.
You had another trip to Orlando?
This was pre-GPS. So this is like 2009.
Oh, Lord. Wow. I was 23. You were 33? No, 23.
27 going on 28.
I don't know what year I just thought I said, but I didn't think you were 10 years older.
I think that's
than
when
me.
I met Grant Gleason to go to Universal because his dad had just bought the townhouse then. So we camped out there.
You've known Gleason that long?
Yeah.
She's a year younger than me.
Yep.
I think.
She's August 87, yes.
Oh, yeah, she's a year and a half older than me, or younger than me. Sorry, it's been a long fucking day.
Something math? Yeah.
I majored in math. You know we can't add. We can do double variable calculus, but we can't add anything. Shop teachers have no fingers. Librarians have glasses. Such is life. So your idea of daily post getting out of the place you're at is that Scion or Rolla
something
5-door.
similar. So something vibe adjacent, Matrix adjacent. Since I really don't like the second gens of either of those cars. And apparently the 1.8 liters are really underpowered when the cars got bigger in the second gen.
Yeah.
And the 2.4s, apparently something's just wrong that they'll just consume oil. I'm used to that, but my car's also ancient. Newer car, I figured, get this stuff together. My dad's Camry has the same 2.4 in it, and it eats water pumps but not oil. Well, oil's still cheaper, so who's laughing now?
At the risk of me grenading my AMC, I will say that I neither burn nor leak any oil between 5,000-mile oil changes. But, arguably, the technology used in that engine is
seasoned.
Very seasoned. To the point where
that's the phrase I keep hearing about Nintendo consoles, that it's never innovative. It's made of extant parts so they can, do something fun cheaper.
I've reminded you a couple times.
Instead of, the failure rate of modern PlayStations and Xboxes.
Fair.
It's kind of drastic. Yeah, you don't see a lot of Nintendo consoles getting thrashed until they hit the 20-year mark.
Nope. Before my generation, XJ, up to 96, some of the blocks still had AMC stamped on them.
Didn't yours have it somewhere too?
I don't know if it did or not. I know some. I'm pretty sure some up to 96 still had AMC on the block. And AMC was post Diamonds.
After 87, it's as good as dead.
Exactly. So, but there is something to be said about that simplistic approach to things.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make parts available. Oh, hey, go into any Advance Auto Parts you can find, or AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa. Pick your poison and go, I need a valve cover gasket for a 95 Jeep Cherokee, inline 6. And they'll go, we have 9 different kinds. Which one do you want? Any kind of part you want for that fucking car, you can get. Doesn't matter if it's a regular Cherokee, Grand Cherokee. If it has that 4-liter inline 6, you can find a part for it.
Or better yet, the pre-XJ of any ilk, the AMC Cherokee.
Yes. And then before that was
the Wagoneer Cherokee.
Wagoneer with the stacked headlights, which
that was concurrent. I like the look of that, but I've always liked stacked headlights.
So you like the GTO of that?
Yes, I do. Or the local Ghostbusters branch that has the 62 Cadillac hearse instead of the 59. Can't quibble too much. I like the way the car looks.
I wonder what the newest...
And yet, I really hate the new Chevy Silverados with the Franken grill.
Ugh.
It is...
I don't know. Lexus's grills are kind of out there. But at least it's different.
Good.
I'm going to look for the newest car with stacked headlights.
I never found the Predator, as in the movie villain, to be terribly attractive. Never mind, that appears to be Lexus and Toyota's styling motif. Like those new RAV4s, that's latest offender in. That shit is obviously from the same people that designed the new Prius. That is the ugliest fucking new car on the road.
God, isn't it though? I was looking for the newest car that we could find with stacked headlights, and we are coming up very old still. Like GTO.
Oh no! It would be. Suburbans, Cherokees,
That old-ass
old
Cadillac.
Ranchero. That looks very Fordish.
I don't know. It has a...
Well, because back in the 70s, you could get a Ranchero or its concurrent LTD with the hood ornament because that was a thing back then. Hell, my dad's 82 Corolla had a hood ornament on it.
No way. What was the logo?
It's kind of like two crossbars this way and like have a crossbar this way. Very simplistic thing. Had he not gotten rid of that and gotten the Sable, that might have become my first car to be a total Rusty Death Trap.
Rusty Death Trap, Steve's new metal band. Why does it have a G35 coupe on here? I mean, technically...
Because it kind of looks apart. Yeah, trouble is with the cascaded headlights, the line's getting blurred a bunch.
Thanks, Robin Thicke. That was horrible.
Huh.
There's not many.
Sounds like Marvin Gaye's going to sue somebody's ass.
Well, Hayabusa...
It's funny because those songs don't sound the same.
Hayabusa has stacked headlights, but there's only one front headlight, so... Oh, yeah, there we go, Steve. It's the Plymouth. It's the Voyager.
Yeah, the originals. Hells yeah, dude. I always liked the way those looked. And my buddy's dad drove one of those much longer than anybody should have.
Fun fact.
I remember him commenting about the engine at the time. Like, yeah, it's a 2.6 liter 4. It's like, this is a really big 4-cylinder.
There you go. And you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Something about Mitsubishi forklifts?
Yeah. And there's a video of a guy in a GT Mustang getting bombardedly raped by a Voyager van, and that somebody just swapped the Starion turbo exhaust manifold on and just turboed the van. And because the vans didn't weigh anything, because no old car weighs... Well, okay. After... 1980. Between 80 and 2000, cars were lightweight. Right? Is that about the right year range? Like, before, I'd say after 1980 and before 2000. After 2000, cars started to get just a little bit heavier. Ugh. Is there a problemo, Esteban?
It's for my phone buzzing because I got to say what I want to eat tomorrow from hibachi because I sure as hell ain't eating it tonight.
The place beside my store has really good hibachi also.
This is the one in Cornelius that Kaylin raves about, and frankly, I haven't been that impressed.
Oh, really? Well, just get something like seafoody, and I don't know. It's hard to fuck hibachi up as long as you cook it all the way through. And even if you don't cook it all the way through, as long as you don't get chicken, you're probably in the clear. Because you can eat a cow raw, you can eat anything that comes out of the water raw, but you cannot eat a pig or a chicken raw. I mean, you can once. That's the limit. Nobody orders their chicken medium rare for a reason.
Yeah. There's reasons they call that one white meat.
Yeah. Oh, have you been to God damn it.
Has Emily seen Lebowski?
She has. She likes it. She likes that, but she doesn't like Airplane.
I'm very confused.
I married her. How do you think I feel? Have you
Confused
been to Viva Chicken?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's
the yellow
red.
sauce. I could drink the yellow sauce. In fact, I might. But we have a Mexican date.
Make sure it's specifically their sauce, not anybody else's sauce.
Yes.
Not containing snow.
The rapper from Canada? We've already been over this. You weren't familiar with Snow, the white rapper.
No, still not. And I'm not a rap head.
Neither was he.
I limit my beasties. That's about it for my rap know-how.
Beastie friends forever. I'm off tomorrow. And then I work Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And then guess what? I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. It's not going to be the same without you. I completely understand. Steve's got to get hitched and all that shit, so they got to figure out dates and times and when they're just going to go to the courthouse and do it and then have a big shindig
Yeah,
party.
or eloping. It's going to be that much easier.
When and where, and have you figured it out?
No, that's why I had to drop all my shifts next week trying to figure this stuff out. I've only been engaged 13 months and have no plans.
Well, we were engaged 18 months, so you're still under the Holtski.
You know, much like when Mark was here, that we're discussing ailments.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a competition.
So that would be cool, and then save whatever money that was going to be spent on the wedding, on honeymoon. That's the way to go. But I don't see how people do that shit like 4 times. How and why? 2 times, I do understand. Sometimes that first time you're like, well, that person's not the same. But 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
Something about the lowest common denominator in this equation. Maybe it's not them, it's you.
I think I've told you that story before, where I know a guy that's been married 4 times. Quadrice? Twice?
I think quadrice is what they serve at Taxco.
Nice.
Just
It is delicious. The 4th time he got married was to his second wife. And they each realized they couldn't live with anybody else, and they were the only people that could put up with each other, respectively, and they got remarried, and they've been married ever since. 10 years. 10 years the second time. It's important.
like that. I know it's a band, but I don't listen to them, so I wish I could make a better joke of this.
Maybe we should pentice? Sice? Is sice a word? 6 times over? Sice.
I would like hexice better. Heptice.
Hexice. Septice.
Yeah, so
octice.
So once, twice, thrice, quadrice, pentice, hexice, heptice, octice.
Octice. Nontice.
Nontice sounds like it never happened.
That's what you do at that point.
And then decktice or deckatice.
Decktice. How's my decktice? It's a wee bit salty. You're close to being out.
Uh-huh.
I want some Mexican food.
Yeah.
You too?
So we did all things?
Yes.
Ish.
Cheers and pound it.
Or...
Oh, man. I haven't done that in a while.
Cool. Why's your room spinning?
It's a new app I have on Reaper. 2 weeks?
Hope so.
All right, cool. Well, for episode 45, this one's been a blast. I didn't realize there was so much shit to cover. That's a novel.
I didn't realize I was supposed to bring a tiny vinyl here to make this a record breaker.
Well, that's a good ender. I'm AJ.
I'm still Steve.
I'll see you later.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.